Uh. Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, and Craig's Crown Cutz, downtown Johnson City. That's a barbershop, by the way. Spreading love the Tri-City way, but spreading love is the Crown Cutz way. That's the only way. Barber College Success, a platform where we drop gems, give you insight, give you hindsight, give you opportunity to understand what barber school is like, how to navigate barber school, how to get you through your 1,500 hours as like our state. Some states are 1,000 to 1,200, but Barber College Success just kind of gives you the opportunity to understand what to expect, what to navigate, how to get through this career that you're jumping into, this wonderful career that is so wonderful that is, man, since I've opened my shop, since I've been in school and an instructor, I've never had a day when I didn't want to go to school, do what I'm doing. But before we jump into this, I'm going to introduce my co-host themselves in person, live and direct.
Oh, yeah, he switched it up. That's all right. Jordan Barr _52 on Instagram for Bristol, Tennessee.
Jordan threw his head at you like, yo,
you're on the air. Am I Fields? Am I your barber? Marion, Virginia, 24354.
Yes, sir. Live and direct.
Got to put numbers in there because Jordan got numbers.
34. I done moved to Abington. I forgot my freaking zip code for Bristol.
Oh, you live at Abington now?
24210.
So you down the road.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You moving.
Abington don't have a jumping barbershop.
A lot of people told me, it's like, bro, you need to open a barbershop.
Yep.
I was like,
And shout out to Feed Spot for ranking us a top 25 podcast in the world. Yes, sir. One time. I know we talk about that, being a top 25 podcast in the world. What does that mean to you guys?
It's nice knowing that we have people that actually listen to us and take what we have to say to heart. It means a lot. It means that we're actually motivating people, and it feels good. I like knowing that we're actually being heard, and it makes me feel good.
I mean, and being in the top 25 podcasts in the world, the UK, Iceland, what's the other? Canada.
Madagascar.
And what's the other one? The US, of course. That's major.
Huge.
We have content, and we're pushing content, and people from around the world are listening to us.
I need somebody from Iceland to message us. Y'all are like number 4 on our top 5 countries. But y'all need to message us. I want to talk to somebody from Iceland.
But that just shows how broad this barber thing is getting, how the barber school is taking off, and how in good hands our industry is. There's so much jobs out there to 2020, going from 20. This industry has just exploded. I think there's like a 22% growth rate to 2023, a job rate. So there's always jobs in this, and there's good jobs, good paying jobs. Because most people come out of barber school making at least a minimum of what you think about.
At least, I mean,
like 40,
40, 50 a year.
At least 40.
That's the minimum. You know what I mean? And if you really want to take off, and rest in peace, take off. No pun intended. But if you want to take off in the industry, your first year, you can make about 65, 70, 80 grand.
I watched Chris Bosio video the other day, and one of his a dude that just graduated barber school I think he said like 2 or 3 months ago, and he's making 3.5 a week.
3.5 what?
3,000 a week.
3,500 a week?
Yeah.
I mean, that's feasible.
Yeah, and that's crazy. He does 200 heads per. I think he said 200 heads per week.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
And he's making good bread. I mean, I know like my first students, when they got out of school in 2017, when I opened up my shop, they made 60, and some of them made 65.
He's doing 200 haircuts a week.
Yeah.
I said that's crazy.
And last year in this area right now, last year, some of them told me they made 85 and some of them made 90.
That's crazy.
No, it's not.
I mean, it isn't crazy, but it is crazy. I feel like at the same time,
200 heads a week is crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's
I mean, if you can do it, you can do it. That means you in the shop. But the thing is, right, you in the shop early in the morning, and you're the last one to leave. So there's one, for instance, there's one student in the school right now. He makes about $200 a week in tips. He's there early and he's there late, and he's the first chair. And he has people coming in every day asking for him because he's always there.
I mean, this guy's doing like 35 plus haircuts a week to get to 35 plus haircuts a day to get to 200 a week.
It takes them 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes for each one.
I mean, depending if they was giving them ball fades, if you're getting like a South of France or something real funky, like a flat
crazy.
top, you know.
What's the South of France? I ain't heard that.
South of France is like a burst fade.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never heard that.
yeah, you have.
I really haven't. You're the first one you put me on. Yeah, I'm about to Google it.
So today we're going to talk about the first week of barber school. We're going to break down the first day, day 2, day 3, day 4, and what to expect in the first week of barber school. I think a lot of people want to know what it's like. I know we did a podcast on the first 8 weeks of barber school, but that was like in the earlier stage. But we're going to break it down and talk about the first week of barber school. What is the first day like? Do you remember your first day, Jordan?
Yeah.
I remember Jordan's first
I
time.
remember vividly. I was freaking nervous. I was ready to go. I was ready to cut. In my mind, I thought I was ready to cut until the day happened, and I was like, "Oh man, I don't want the clippers now."
Oh, I remember when I had to force you to grab the clips. Remember that day?
Yeah.
What did I say to you?
He said, "Jordan." He said, "What you doing, man?" I said, "He said, well, it's time to get cut." And I said, "I don't know if I'm ready, Craig." He said, "No, you ready?" I was like, "All right."
I was like, you cutting today.
Yeah, today.
You cut. I remember that like yesterday. I remember where you was, what the station looked like. You was in the corner in the back, and then your homeboy, after like, yo, you cutting today. He's like, I'm not ready yet.
You had to get Kobe to cut my hair first.
Yeah,
Kobe was running.
yeah, you cutting today.
Kobe was running.
Kobe disappeared in the bathroom. He wanted to disappear. Where you at, Kobe?
And those things are normal because when you go into school, you're so eager and anxious to cut hair, but when those clippers in front of you, you're like, what do I do? Where am I at?
Yeah,
Like a deer in headlights.
You just get scared.
scared to mess up.
Yeah, and that's everyone. Every student who comes into school, one of the biggest things is I'm afraid to mess up.
I think the first thing students should do when they first day of school is introduce themselves to the students that are there. Like go around and meet everybody, the senior students, the instructors. Go ahead and meet everybody. I know a lot of times students walk in and they're kind of nervous, maybe a little insecure. You know, anytime you walk into a room and you're a new person, it could be kind of stressful sometimes. But the first thing you should do is just go around and introduce yourself to everybody. Number one.
And I think that's big because everybody's going to be nervous. Everyone first day of school is nervous. And don't go into school the first day expecting to grab clippers right away because there's so much that you have to learn before those clippers are in your hands. Some of the key things that you have to learn, customer service. Some of the key things you have to learn is how to do a consultation. If you can't do a consultation, you can't reach a client and talk to them and ask them what type of haircut they want. How are you even ready to hold the clippers? What kind of conversation are you going to have? You have to put the clients at ease.
I think also you need to do, before you even get to school, you need to go ahead and do some research. Get on, I know a lot of people go to YouTube, they don't know how to cut hair, but follow some barbers, follow local barbers, follow famous barbers, follow people that are in the industry and just kind of get a feel for the industry because the until you get into barbering, sometimes the thought of it's kind of misconstrued.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
And the key is too, don't miss orientation. Every school has an orientation the day before. So if school starts on that Tuesday, you have orientation on Monday. Do not miss your orientation. Orientations are so important and valuable because it gives you the meat and the bones of what the school is about, the operations of the school, where to park, if you smoke cigarettes, where to smoke cigarettes, where to do certain things in the school that you will need to learn.
Logging your hours.
Yes, how to clock in. Don't miss orientation for one. Because when you miss orientation, it sets you back.
Yeah, you putting from the rough.
So the first day of school, A lot of students come in all high and mighty. And we'll go back to that quote. Make your first day like your
Make
last
me last like you first.
and make your last like your first. And then make that your everything. That's that Jay-Z quote. So the same energy you come in that first day, that same hunger, make sure you leave with that same hunger, that same energy when your last day of school. Don't turn down haircuts.
I still remember when that was one of Craig's speeches before he let us go for the orientation that day, and I always kept that in my mind the whole time that I was in school, and it still regulates with me today. So I've always kept that quote as my personal quote.
The excuses. That's my first quote I tell all my students. Excuses are the tools of incompetence, which build monuments into nothingness. And a person who practices them will be seldomly good at nothing else. So during orientation, I tell every student that quote, and that quote was with me when I was in the 7th grade from Mr. Peterson in my health class. And he made us just focus on that and empower ourselves to understand this quote is going to take you through the rest of your life.
Say the quote again.
Excuses are the tools of incompetence, which build monuments into nothingness. And a person who practices them will be seldomly good at nothing else. Just think about that.
You know, what's cool is when we were doing a fest project and we were in Charleston, South Carolina, and you said that quote, and there was 2 students there that were like mind blown because they had literally just read that quote the day before.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the one dude was quoting it as Craig was saying it.
Right.
Like he had just heard it the day before.
I mean, it's big. I mean, everyone has excuses why they can't do something. And if you're signing up for barber school, there shouldn't be no excuses why you shouldn't be able to give your all and fulfill your time. Because I saw this video, excuse me, like last week, and I think Ammi shared it too with what Tyreek was saying. Everything that you need is at the school. Everybody's always blaming the schools about why they can't do this and why they can't do that. Everything you need is at the school.
And it started getting frustrating me after being there for a while and being an instructor and just watching people. I mean, because people will complain. Students complain. Like you can never give somebody enough.
Right.
There's never enough for somebody. I mean, you could give them brand new Gamma Instinct clippers in a solid gold case
Right.
and have Chris Bossio instructing with Tyreek Jackson every day, and they're gonna find something to complain about. They be like, "Oh man, we ain't got no water here. You know? There's no bottles of water for us to drink." You know, there's always something. You know, but in your school, everything that you need to be successful and beyond is right there. And if you don't take the daily curriculum and do what you're supposed to be doing and then go beyond that, then you're going to miss out of it, and you're paying for it. So every dollar that you put in there, you're wasting if you don't take advantage of it.
And come prepared, because that first week, you're going to start with things that's going to prepare you to get on the floor. Because you're not going to grab the clippers the first week.
Nope. That's funny. That's my favorite part.
You're probably going to work on your barbicide certification.
Yeah.
Your domestic violence certification. Getting those things out the way to prepare you for the floor. Understanding what sanitation is. Those things are important, because knowing how to clean your station, knowing how to operate the barber chair. Because a lot of students don't know how to operate the barber chair. They forget.
There's senior students that I come in and like they'll have an older gentleman get out the chair and they'll be holding the chair, trying to hold the chair still, where they rocking and getting out. And I'm like, bruh, like just lift your foot up on the lever to lock it. And they don't even know that until you're like, oh man, I had no idea.
And that's some of the ones who probably miss orientation.
Yeah.
Because you're in orientation, all those things we talk about. You know what I mean? So the first day, everybody's going to be scary. Like for me, we teach you how to set up your station, how to clean your station, how to clean all these things you learn in the first day to the first week of barber school.
Mm-hmm.
How to wear all the sanitary stuff to clean the school. What is your chore? Because every student has to have a chore. And why you have to have a chore in school is because it's preparing you for when you go in the shop. Because every shop, if you work together in a shop where you're paying booth and on a commission, you're going to have a chore you're going to have to do too.
Yeah.
To help the upkeep of the shop.
At the very least, keep your station clean.
Yeah.
And that's good. And that translates to if you want your own shop as well. So, I mean, because you got to do all that stuff yourself.
Because so if you're practicing, you want to have your own shop. From day one you go to school, you should start practicing like you have a shop. Start practicing everything that you want to emulate when that time's for you to open your shop. Coming early, leaving late. Because that's all those things that shop owners have to do when you are responsible for an entity that's whatever your shop name is. Because there's too many barbers out there who, if they're not the shop owner, they feel a certain way. And they don't want to produce and put themselves in the light of doing the things to keep the upkeep of the shop. That's important. But if you ask every student come from day one, I want to open a shop. I want to have my own shop. But if you want to have your own shop, you have to practice that. And I don't recommend people just coming out of school right away and opening their own shop. It takes time. At least 2 to 3 years in a shop. Give yourself some time.
Yeah.
But that first week is important. That first week is going to tell if you're prepared for all those things. And then for me in my school too, that first week, I always teach the students how to handle a straight razor. So that's one anxiety I want them to get out the way. So by the day 2, 3, 4, you are proficient with a straight razor. How we teach it at Crown Cutz and Johnson, you're proficient. You know how to do a straight razor shave. You know how to use your straight razor, how to hold it. You know all the parts of the straight razor. You know the whole gamut, and you don't have no anxiety about using that straight razor.
And that's smart because that's a huge milestone whenever barbers come into barber school. They're very intimidated of the straight razor, and rightfully so. You should respect it because it could be a dangerous tool. It could be your best weapon,
right?
But at the same time, it could also be dangerous and even lethal. In some cases. So to get that out the way to begin with, to give them that confidence is a powerful thing.
Yeah, because there's some people that they have to teach themselves how to. Because some people are heavy-handed,
right? Oh yeah, your boy.
And that's okay though. I let him, I had one of the students when I was in school. I let him do a straight razor on me, and he was heavy-handed, but he didn't really practice using his straight razor like that.
He come to school.
Yeah, he
got me too.
Didn't come to school, man. And
he was missing.
when I tell you, this man cut my lip, it was bleeding for It's bleeding for at least 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. But that junk hurt so bad.
Yeah, scar tissue.
Yeah, it was bad. But it's a learning experience though.
I know, but the thing is, and that's what most students don't realize, when you miss days, especially in the beginning, you miss out on the important intricacies of learning how to perform the skill. You miss out on how to perform the skill because there's so much you're learning, even in that first week, like setting up your station, the sanitation part, the consultation, just preparing you for the floor. Because most schools, you don't get on the floor for about at least
a month or 2.
A month.
Yeah.
At least a month, 4 to 6 weeks. Because there's so much that you have to learn because every student is afraid of messing. And don't go in there. That's rule of thumb. Don't go to school afraid to mess someone up. You are going to mess someone up. Everyone is going to mess someone hair up.
You will continue to mess people up throughout your career.
Unless you've been cutting hair and you're real proficient at cutting hair before you came to school. There are some barbers who are proficient in cutting hair, but they still have a lot to learn because they are great cutters. They're not great barbers yet.
Yeah.
Because if you're cutting without your license and not someone teaching you the right way, you become a great cutter. You can do all the skills, but you're not a great barber.
And so you're lacking in some of the experiences and other, like learning how to do the top. Like a lot of people not know how to do the fade, but they don't know how to blend the fade in with the top, or they don't know how to talk to their client, or they don't know how to sanitize right. It's just stuff that you're not only going to learn when you're in barber school.
Right. And another thing I see too, a lot of students get discouraged, almost like want to quit in the first week or two because they are watching other students who are performing haircuts who've been there 2 to 3 months before them, and they get discouraged and thinking that they're not going to be able to do the haircut. Or the whole process of coming to school is from day one, you got to grab some clippers and cut hair. No, there's so much to learn.
And that's the narrow-mindedness that people come in to school with. It's just like people think we're just cutters. We just cut hair. And then as soon as you get to school, you get handed a pair of clippers and you cut. And that's a misconception that sometimes the public has about what we do. They don't realize that we have to learn anatomy, have to learn chemistry, have to learn how to be sanitary, have to properly dispose of sharp utensils and soiled and infected objects, things like that.
And even that first week, when you have some spare time, you're not doing a practical or you're not learning a skill to prepare you for the floor, don't go in the back and sit back. Don't, like you said, introduce yourself to all the new students. Get to know the students. Build a friendship. Get to know someone who is going to be at the school there with you, who can be a mentor to you because you have so much to learn.
That's how I recognize a good student, other than just being present and being we're ready to learn, being coachable. Is also that the newer students that go over and watch the senior students cut, like just stand there, ask questions as they go. Those are the ones that are going to be successful. And week one, you can tell the ones that are really taking it serious. Not that some of them won't turn around eventually and figure it out, but it's obvious the ones that really want to take it and run with it.
And you see a lot of students coming to that first day, that first 2 days, first week, so energetic, and they're like, you got to do this practical. He's like, why do I have to do this practical? This is not barbering. I hear that a lot. This is not barbering. I just want to cut hair. But always think about it this way. We are preparing you to be the best version of yourself. We are preparing you to be a master barber. And to be prepared to be a master barber, there are certain things that you have to do that might not look like you're preparing yourself to be a master barber, but trust indeed that the instructors have put a curriculum in there for you to prepare you to be the best version of yourself.
And I think I said this a bunch of times, but one of my favorite things as an instructor, like as a barber, you got these little things that, like putting alcohol on somebody, see if they like twitch. Like one of my guilty pleasures as an instructor is seeing new students come in thinking they about to cut hair and then they got to do a roller set or something. And you can just see it on their face. Like, this is what I thought I was going to do. Like that makes me so happy.
But it's cool though, because you don't realize someone is going to come in one day when you're a master barber in the shop and say they want a perm.
Yeah.
And what you going to do? Turn it down because you didn't prepare yourself in school? Everything is at your disposal at the school. Everything is there for you to be successful. Mm-hmm. Take advantage of those early days. Take advantage of those practicals. Take advantage of those times when it's slower for you, because it's going to pick up and start going real fast. And that first week, it's really slow. Try to understand what your guards are. And the thing is, it's going to look like brain surgery to you anyway. The first week to 2 weeks, it's going to seem like you performing brain surgery, because it's going to be something that's totally so unfamiliar to you that you're going to be like, man, am I ever going to be able to do this?
Yeah, you're going to be overwhelmed.
Because what most people don't realize, there's a lot of science in barbering. There's a lot of technology in barbering. There's a lot of engineering in barbering. And there's a lot of mathematics in barbering. There's plenty of math. And most people don't understand that. There is plenty of math. That STEM analogy is in barbering all the way around.
Break it down. STEM.
The science of it. Where did it start? How did this thing become one of the oldest professions in the world? Where are all these artifacts that people, how did they create all these tools? How did they know to create a comb out of bone? How did they know that? How did they know how to dye hair with berries? Mm-hmm. How did they know that? You know what I mean? That's the science, the technology. Look at all these clippers. How do you cool these clippers? How do you know how to cool these clippers? How to cut them off in a certain way, like those clippers, how you cut them on the top.
The Andis T-outliners?
Yeah. And to make it cool. How do you know how to come up with all this technology with precision blades?
Side note, I remember when we were sitting in a room with KG, and we were in Nashville, I think it was. It was either Nashville or Knoxville. And KG said back in the day, your clippers was your edgers, your scissors. And he said when they got hot, they had to put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
You imagine that?
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but think about that technology and the engineering for that. Someone had to think of that.
Yeah.
Some engineer had to sit there and think of that, how to make that work. Mm-hmm. And then the mathematics, the 180. the 45, the 90 degree, and understanding how to use your guidelines. Most guidelines is an inch. And you go each guard, as you go up with each guard is an inch. You know what I mean? So all that is mathematics and cutting hair. And now with the inclusion of barbering and coding, that's a next level now. Showing how to do a design with a software and then applying it on the scalp, on the head, and now you're doing just tracing and making it so much easy for you.
Yeah.
And people don't realize there's so much science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in barbering every day. So that's why our skill, that's why our profession is up there. And that's why some barbers are making like 6 figures because they figure it out. Some barbers are making really great money in this industry, and you can too. But you have to take it serious. You can't miss days. You have to be on point. You have to be punctual. Your consultation have to be on point. You have to be professional.
What's the quote? It's like the journey of 10,000 miles starts with the first step.
Yeah.
Day one.
You do. All those things work together in putting you in a position to be financially free.
That's something you can't pay for. It's like my friend the other day, he was like, he works for a corporation, a medical corporation. He's into technology, and you know, he likes what he does. But I went to his house and we were getting ready to go play basketball, and he was on lunch, and he had to be online and click off at a certain time, and his mouse couldn't stop moving for so long. They had to know that he was working. And then he had to click off to go to lunch, and he had to be back at a certain time to click off back from lunch. And in my mind, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I couldn't imagine having somebody like watching me, waiting for me to click back on to work. You know, like I take my job serious. I go to work. I work every minute and every hour that I can. But at the same time, it's like the freedom that I have is priceless. Like, you cannot put a dollar sign. I don't think I could work for anybody ever again, because it's just such a powerful thing to be your own boss. And that's what barbering can do.
It's a blessing for sure. It's something that I've realized, because before I actually went to barber school, I worked in a factory. And when I tell you,
What'd you do at that factory?
I had to work 6 lines, and we made sidewalls for houses and stuff. So I had to go.
And not knocking over profession.
Yeah,
everybody got a job.
Yeah, everybody got their job, but that's not something. Something not everybody's made for everybody. That's not for me. But that job was probably one of the hardest jobs, because I'll go on break. You get like a 30-minute lunch break. Come back, your junk be packed, like stacked up to the roof. And the machine will be broke, and then you have to fix the machine. There's supposed to be somebody that's supposed to watch it for you when you're on break, and they wouldn't be watching it for you. So you'd have to go through and just throw all the bad stuff away, and then catch yourself back up, which usually take about another hour. And then you're gonna be like, it was so horrible. But that really opened up my eyes, as far as like, I was like, I need to find something that I really need to do, like I enjoy. And I knew that I wanted to be an artist or something that involved creativity. And I never knew that barbering would be the thing that I'd fall in love with, which I'm so glad, and I'm blessed to this day that I've been given this opportunity to be able to be myself and bless people and make them feel good and show off my creativity. I mean, it's just the best. I mean, it's the best thing you possibly get.
You know, I thought about that, like, because I worked at a factory too. And, you know, sometimes I think about maybe, yeah, I know I love what I do now, and I take it serious and I appreciate it. But maybe I just wasn't mature enough. I bet if I went back to that factory, I'd be running that mug. I would be the president, CEO of that factory within 5 years, because my attitude has shifted from what I used to be before. From what I used to be, I'd be like, oh man, this is a drag, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
Now my attitude is totally different. I guarantee I'd be running that mug if I went back to the factory that I worked at, just because I know what it's like to start from the bottom and grow and to build and to give all my energy and positiveness into that. So, I mean, that's how I feel now. And I was like you. I felt the same way that you felt, but it's just like the whole energy has shifted, and barbering did that for me. It's like, I can make it happen with these 2 hands. Whatever it is, I'll make it happen.
But the thing is, right, so that quote kind of resonated with you. If you was going back to that factory, you'd make that first day in the factory like your last day, and make the last day like your first, going with that energy and that hunger, because, you know, you needed a job, and your mindset is, hey, I put my name on this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give the best
Product quality.
I'm putting out good output. I'm gonna make this thing my first day, like my last day, like my last day, like my first, because there are not a lot of people who give that energy wherever they're at.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people get stuck. But when you're something that you love, you want to give your so much, your input, your energy, and your all. And that's what barbering has done for all of us.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have days where we don't want to go to work. You know what I mean? We don't have days where we don't want to go to work because we love what we do, because we know our clients and our artistry of just doing what we love with our hands, the hands that God bless us with, we enjoy that. We love that. We love what we do. So that's why that first day, that first week of barbering is important.
And when Craig says that we don't want to go to work, he's not saying that we don't get tired sometimes.
Right.
We get tired. So he's not saying that, our feet don't hurt. He's just saying that we go in with the same energy every day, trying to be the best we can be and provide the best service and grow every day, be better than the day before.
Because we love what we do. I mean, in the past, like I said, the past 20, 25 years, I'm like, I've never had a day where I didn't want to go to work. From being a barber in the barbershop, to being an instructor, to going to instructor school, to open up my first shop, my first month of schooling, my first 2 months, my first 6 months, and just the grind of just opening a school and not knowing what to do and not having a mentor right there to kind of show you the fine things, how to do it, just kind of working on the fly. It was work, but I enjoyed every bit of it.
Were you able to see this transition happening? Like, do you remember seeing like where barbering started to become like hip again, like where people, like all these people want to start doing it? Did you see that happening? Do you recall that happening? But because you opened a school, did that push you to open a school, or is that something that happened while you were opening a school?
I mean, barbering was hip for me from day one. The first time I went to the barber and watched what he did, and I'm like, when I go home, I'm doing the exact thing, and I'm cutting my hair. It was hip that day. Mm-hmm. It was hip that day for me, because I was like, dang, I gave myself a fresh fade.
Yeah.
On myself. I just followed the exact blueprint what he did to me, and I can do it. And I did it, and then like my neighbors was like, yo, can I get a cut? You cut your hair? I was like, yeah. Can you do the same thing? Yeah. It was hip for me.
So you had like instant clout.
Yeah.
Like,
so
yeah.
And I didn't see, and again, I wasn't looking at it for the money, because I didn't see, back then, I didn't see myself where I am today.
Yeah.
It was just a joy and a genuine love for something that I found that made me happy.
So was you cutting hair in college?
Oh yeah.
So you was cutting the football team and everything too?
That was my part. That was my part-time job. I was cutting the football team. I was cutting people in the city, of Johnson City, professors.
Tell them about the. Can he tell them? Is there a statute of limitations on your degree?
I can't talk about that. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna make a long story short. This professor, I cut his hair and he hooked me up.
Dude gave you an A+ for the class.
We worked it out, man. We worked it out. Yeah. I mean, but just the art of barbering, and this is what is done for us, for me, and now to the point where we're traveling educators. You know what I mean? I didn't see that coming. But it's like I said, I had that same energy from day one when I got into this industry. From that same energy was there when I cut my hair the first time when I was about 15. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I love this. I love this. And then it's time now you become an adult. You got to choose a job. It's like, why not choose a job in something that you love? And that's what kind of gets me with students who come to school, and whether yourself who chose a profession or your parents who wanted you to do something. If you chose the profession yourself, something that you think that you want to do, why would you not give your all?
Yeah.
Why would you not want to master and get the most out of it? Why not? Why would you not want to maximize your time in this industry? Maximize your time in the school and get as much as you can, so when that time comes, when you're in the shop and the haircut comes, there's no haircut you're turning away. Because the more you learn, the more you're able to do, the more money you're gonna make. Because everybody was talking about they want the bag, they want this, they want that. But how are you gonna get this and that and want all these benefits and positive in this industry if you could only do a fade? You're contradicting yourself. You are a hairstylist. You are a master barber. You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't turn down nothing.
That's what Danny from Andis said. He said, "You're a professional. You got a PhD. You're a professional hairdresser. PhD."
Yeah. Why you want to not be able to do women, men, do dreads, do braids? Why would you want to not be able to do all of that?
I think, like I said last time, I think it's just a sense of maturity.
That too, but also a sense of laziness too.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I want to do all that stuff now, but when I was in school, I was really wanted to learn how to get the best fade. But I was always open to learn new stuff all the time. So I wasn't never like, picky. Whatever y'all had for that day, I was ready to learn it and I was ready to take and run with it. But what I really just dived into, what my mind wanted to dive into, was really just the fade.
1,500 hours, right? It's a long time. That's almost 10, 11 months to a year.
In Jordan's respect, like, his attitude was, because he got to the point to in school where I'm like, Jordan, quit cutting these dudes' hair. Like the students, they're like, stop, quit cutting their hair. Like, but Jordan, his mindset was, I'm getting reps in, I'm getting better. And it went by fast, didn't it?
It went by so fast.
I can't think of a time I didn't go to school and Jordan wasn't cutting.
But your mindset was maximize the other skills that you need to pick up on.
Yeah.
Because you already start perfecting your strength.
Mm-hmm. That's when you start saying maybe you should start working more on your shears. I was like, well, okay, now I'll try to do that. Now I should like doing shears more now than I do like fading. Like it's
working your weaknesses.
Yeah,
he never had a problem. That was Jordan's strongest point, was he never had a problem getting anybody in the chair.
Right.
At any point, he always at any given time he could have somebody in the chair. He never had a problem with that.
And that's the thing that most students drop the ball on.
Yeah.
They don't understand that they also, excuse me, they also have to do some marketing and bring people into the school.
I feel like that's the most important part.
Yeah. You have to go out there and market and bring people to the school.
But the people that don't do that are become the same way in a shop.
Yes.
They sit around the shop all day and playing apps on their phone and wondering why nobody's coming in and they complain
to the shop owner. Why it ain't busy today?
Go get somebody.
Go get somebody. What have you done to help feed yourself?
You go to the grocery store, you go to the gym, you go to church.
Well, this ain't my shop. This is your shop. But this is your job. This is your career.
It's your shop too.
It is your shop. And that's a great point. Once you go into a shop, you have to treat that shop like it's yours from day one.
That's the only way to be.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when people get a haircut from a shop, I mean, a lot of times you have clients that know you by name, but respectfully, it's going to be, I got my hair cut at this place.
Yes.
This place, not so much so-and-so did my hair. This place is where I get my hair cut.
I remember I had some barbers at my shop, and they wanted to be individualized so much. They wanted to have their own, which is cool, have your own brand, but almost make it seem like it's 5 individual shops in one shop.
Yeah.
And thinking that if they only market which is market and for them and make it seem like it's them only, that it's not, they didn't want to, in a sense, the selfishness was like, I don't want to help this shop. I just want to help myself. That's where you're working.
So you should always want everybody in there to go with you. You should want everybody in there to be just as good as you. And when people say like, because sometimes I'm not, like some people will come in, they're like, yeah, I'm waiting on Jordan. I'm like, man, I'm booked for today. And they're like, well, I don't want to go anybody else. I'm like, man, go anybody in here. I'll hook you up. It don't matter. And you don't care? I'm like, no.
And that's the attitude you got to have, because the more you're like that, the more the whole success of the shop come up. And the more successful you are, because it's making you invaluable.
Your cup runneth over.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So again, we the topic of the podcast is the first day to the first week of barber school. And the first day to the first week of barber school is so critical and important because it's going to help you alleviate a lot of mistakes that you might create and put on yourself. Because how you started that first week with that energy. You need to maintain that energy throughout.
It's just like being a track star. You know, you run the 100-meter track race sprint is won on the start. If you don't get a good start, you could almost bet you're not going to win. So that first week, that's you coming off the block. That is you showing what kind of race you're going to run. And very early on, you can tell who's going to be in the run-ins, who's going to be in the lead, and who's going to be racing very early. And it's up to you to put yourself in that position.
Because a lot of times, things that we have to do when we come in is build students' confidence. And it don't matter how old you are. You can be 17, you can be 40, you can be 50.
82. What was it, 83?
Most students come in, Craig, am I going to be able to do this, you think? I'm like, give it a chance. You've been there in 3 weeks. You're not going to be the best master barber in 2 weeks. Give it a chance. Give yourself opportunity. Learn as much as you can learn. Because most students come in that first week is difficult. That first month, you're not going to understand. It's going to be frustrating because it's a learned skill. It's something new. And it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to not know what's going on. But you have to stick with it because this is a career. This is something that people are going to pay you for a top dollar. If they pay you top dollar for this career of yours, why would it just be so easy? Everybody would do it. Mm-hmm. If people know that, man, I can just go to barber school in a week and in 12 months, I guarantee to make $60,000, $70,000. I don't have to do no type of thinking. I just have to go there and show up. You know how many people would do it? A ton. Because it's a fun job.
Mm-hmm. But I do believe that's why a lot of people go because they think they are going to come out like that.
But it's not realistic.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to pick it up in the first week, the first 2 weeks. I've had students ask me, you think I'll be able to be the best barber? You think I'll be able to cut? You think I'll be able to fade? I'm like, if you in tune, you come every day, you invest yourself into this thing, you're going to be able to fade. If you listen to that first quote I said in orientation, and I say it all the time, and I have it posted all around the school about excuses. Excuses are the tools of incompetence, which build monuments into nothingness. And a person who continues to use them will be good at nothing else. It's okay to not have all the answers when you start out. It's okay to not know what's going on. Eventually you will. It's okay to not understand it because it's new. It's a skill that someone is teaching you and training you to do. So it might take some people will pick it up quicker than others. Some people pick it up fast. And there's some things I just can't do in some fields, and I don't get upset.
Mm-hmm. It's just like training a muscle. Like going to the gym, you hit the gym that first week, you don't see nothing. Hit the gym 2 weeks, you don't see nothing. First 2 months, you don't see nothing. But one day you're going to walk by the mirror and be like,
dang,
I did something. But something's happening. Something's happening right now.
You can't lift weights today and see a muscle tomorrow.
No.
No.
Unless you're Jordan.
No, I'm a natural.
And then a year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, what I've been noticing now, right? I've been seeing your homies' haircuts. Kobe. And I can see the development.
You know why?
Why?
It's because he's been asking me questions all the time. He stays over my shoulder all the time now. Because I've talked to him and I was like, Kobe, man, I said, you over here complaining about stuff. And I said, you really need to get in your mind that it ain't gonna happen unless you do it, bro. I said, you got to push yourself. But and he's starting to get it now, which is good.
But the thing is, it's just that everybody develop at different times.
Yeah. So
you develop a little quicker than him, but it's okay.
Yeah.
If he stick with it through repetition, he's gonna get better. And you can't underestimate how long you guys been out of school now.
A year.
You can't underestimate. That's when you're gonna. That's for most people. That's when they click.
Yeah.
Some people click in 6 months after school, and you're still not gonna be the best version of yourself right when you graduate. You're not.
I've definitely sensed a shift in his cuts just from his posts. You know, he looks more confident when he posts,
and that's it.
And it makes me happy, man, because me and him, we talk about, we show each other videos and like we'll try a different technique, and he'll be like, Jordan, try this, and I'll try it, and I end up liking it. It's dope now. I like to see that Kobe's taking it in and at the full effect that it should be.
And the biggest thing is just confidence. For most people, when you're in barber school, it's confidence. Keep your confidence up. Understand if you come, you're in tune, you want this, you are guaranteed to be good. You're going to be straight.
And also, that's another thing why school is so valuable, because you have somebody go into the shop with you
That
you
was in
can
school with.
grow together, and you
Yeah.
could challenge each other to grow. And being in a community like that, that's what the community is all about. Being there for each other, growing together, seeing each other get better, and that helps motivate you to be better. That's why going to school is such an important tool.
I mean, but just like me, right? Coming up in a couple months, I'll be 6 years in this school industry. My first year was not the best version of myself as an instructor, as a school. My second year, I was still growing. My third year, I was still growing. And I still have to grow in year 6 and 7. But all those times, I wouldn't give it up for nothing, because I couldn't shortcut the process of being a school owner or instructor. I had to learn those times, because it's things I couldn't learn without the experience. That's the only way I was going to get better. And I'm not where I want to be in this industry, school industry. And we're getting ready to open moving to a bigger location in Bristol here in like probably 4 weeks.
Okay.
Hopefully. But it's still growth, and I understand growth, inshallah. If God's willing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just growth and understanding. And I tell students all the time, hey, I'm just like when I first started, I was learning. I didn't have no one to piggyback on when I opened the school. And it was a lot of work. It was some stressful time, but I still loved going to work, because I know I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
My drive, and I heard some students, they said, man, you're going to shut down in a year. This school's not going to be here in about 6 months. And I was like, hey, man, if that's what you believe, I know Craig Charles. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't making it unless you got haters, right?
But I wasn't even looking at it as haters. I was looking at someone who was giving me the opportunity to go back to the drawing board to be better.
Just to prove them wrong.
Nah, it wasn't to prove nobody wrong. I just know that.
Just to believe in yourself.
Yeah, this is for me. I ain't got time to prove nobody wrong. This is for me. I mean, I listened to him. I'm like, man, that's what you think? I'm like, watch this.
Amen.
You know what I mean? It's like I know I know my drive. I know where I am. I know what I'm doing. And now look at us now, sponsored with the Confess Project, with all these things that's opening up. Mental health, traveling the country, being a traveling educator. If I didn't trust the process, understand that I'm going to get better every year, I'd have gave up. And most people want that instant gratification. They want that fruit to be ripe and ready and cherry just to grab it, and then what?
That won't be no fun.
It won't be no. You hit the milestone in a day, in a week. Then what? You get bored.
Yeah.
So enjoy the journey.
It's like my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
It's like One Punch Man. You ever watch One Punch Man?
Of course.
Man, you know how Say Thomas
He bored.
He bored.
Yeah, he just be hitting dudes one punch.
Because he ain't got nobody he ain't got no competition.
So
He's
the premise, Craig, is this guy he fights bad guys, and he's so powerful that he can knock them out with one punch.
Right.
So he's bored all the time because there's nothing to him. He can't. It don't matter.
He don't got nobody that gives him competition, or he's good at everything. So he's just like
he just toasts him.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing for him. So it's kind of like a comedy because he's just trying to find the next person to give him a challenge, and he hits him one time. That's a wrap.
it's a serious punch.
Yeah.
And you're not growing like that. One punch and you done, which is crazy. When I was trying to find this quote, and I can't seem to find it, but it was a dope quote. I took a picture of it, and let me see if I can pick it up. It's going to come up here soon. But the moral of the story is, I think the quote is something like this: perfection doesn't happen in a second. Perfection happens over time. You can't create a masterpiece in 3 seconds. You can't create a masterpiece in, think about your dad. He's an artist. How long it took him to be where he needed to be?
Are you talking about the Picasso quote where he drew the picture? The woman brought him a napkin and said, "I need you to draw me a picture, draw me something." And he drew her something on a napkin and handed it to her. He said, "All right, that'd be like $30,000." And she's like, "How can you charge $30,000 for something small you did real quick on a napkin?" He's like, "I ain't charging $30,000 for that right there, what I just did. I'm charging $30,000 for the knowledge and work that I put in to get to this point to draw that piece of thing on the napkin."
And the quote is, you can't you can't gain wisdom in a minimal time. You can't gain wisdom in a minimal time. Along the way, the experiences that you have,
Yeah.
and you put all that together, and that's where the wisdom come in. And it seemed like people come to school and expect to have in like snap of a finger. It's not gonna happen like that.
Never.
So one of the key things is stay motivated. Study. Go home, open that textbook. When you miss a test, catch up and follow up on it the following week. Stop missing days. What do you guys think? Well, what do you guys think about this podcast today?
I like the podcast. I like talking about the first day. Everybody, because I just opened my shop and I feel like I'm a kid again. I feel like it's my first day of barbering. It's my first day of opening a shop. So all that nervous energy that I had first learning how to cut hair,
right,
is it's all flooding back to me. I get that dopamine again.
Get a restart.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Learn how to clean your own shop. The time and how to be punctual. All those things are new to you. And it's on you now. And I can't wait for you to share that journey. And when we gonna sit and talk about a journey in the podcast, letting people know, hey, it's possible.
Yeah.
But the work that you put in, you have to have that same energy that first day of school. You have to have the energy that first week of school. And have the energy just carry on with you.
And I've been cutting hair to 4 years now, so
right,
it's taken 4 or 5 years. It's taken that long to get to that point.
And most schools, the first 4 days during the week is you'll be in a classroom. On Saturdays, that's when you're on the floor and cutting hair. So it's important that first week, on that 5th day, go to school. Go to the practical floor and watch the students cut hair on Saturday. See how they do it. Ask questions and watch and just be in awe. Because that first day, understand the tools, understand the guards. Start working on your guards. Start being able to identify the lengths of hair, what guard that length of hair is. Start being the questions that you should ask. What guard should I eliminate with that haircut? If you're giving somebody a low ball fade, you should know what guards to eliminate. The guards go half, 1, 1.5, 2, 3, 4, so forth and so forth to 8. Most clippers.
They got a 13th guard. Apparently.
Yeah, I mean that's
13 guard. That joke's like an extendo clip.
But the thing is, with a 13th guard, it's telling you that you don't need to use your scissors.
Yeah.
Or unless you're doing a fro. You know what I mean? When you got like a with ethnic hair, you're doing a fro.
It ain't even gonna grab it. With a 13 guard, I don't think you can even hit nothing like that.
You know what I mean? So when you're thinking about that perspective, what guard you should eliminate? Those questions you should want to ask the first week, 2 weeks. When you're doing a low ball fade, or you're doing a taper, what guard should I not use with a taper? With a taper, you typically will not use more than
a 2 guard probably.
A 2 guard probably, unless you have an afro. Or if you're doing a low ball fade, to eliminate from the 1.5 up. A low ball fade with the 1 all over. You know what I mean? So start identifying the lengths of hair. Start identifying your consultation. Know about consultation. Know about how to talk to your clients. Learn about barbicide. Learn about the sanitation rules of the school. How to sanitize your equipment, how to sanitize the school, how to sanitize the station, how to clean your chair, how to operate your chair. Where's the utility rooms? Where are the brooms being held? Where are the chemicals to clean the school? The bleach, the fabuloso, the pine sol. Where are those things? And what is your chore? Ask your instructors, what is your chore? And do it to your best of your ability because your name is on it. And do your chore every day. Don't miss out. Your name tags, the uniform, the dress code, all those things you have to worry about in the first week, which is going to help you. Where are you going to sit? What's the classroom like? What time do you start class? Be punctual. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, all those things, all those things and more. I mean, just be a sponge, be coachable, be professional, and I mean, just be happy where this could take you. Like, just be free.
I like that. Say that again. Be a sponge.
Be punctual.
Be punctual.
Be coachable.
Be coachable. Be professional. Be happy and be free. That's what your first week should be like.
Yeah, and celebrate the leap, celebrate the jump you took.
Yes.
Celebrate the fact that you're even there, because there's probably people that told you not to do it. There's probably people that told you that you can't do it. And there's people that say that you are going to be great at it. So just celebrate all those things.
Celebrate the small victories. Day one, whatever you learn, be happy with that. Celebrate the small victories, because the small victories add up.
JB the Barber. Raising the bar, Barber.
Yeah, I mean, I know that my first day, I knew that I just wanted to be the best. That's all I always just tell myself. I always want to be the best. But I don't know if that's like, what's the word I'm thinking of? If it's selfish of me for saying that, I don't know.
I mean,
But
no,
it's
most
just-
people come in like that. They just want to take over the industry. And when something comes up that they have to do that is tough, it kind of shoots them in their foot like, oh, man, I don't know if I could do this. And they get discouraged.
No, man, have that energy. I want to be the best.
Yeah.
I never had like a negative thought. I always used to think that I used to do everything, but I knew they would take time.
You did.
Yeah.
When somebody stole your stuff.
Yeah, that junk really happened.
But if you have to look at it like this, you go into practice, you go into any type of sports practice that you, as a kid or when you participate in any sport, any type of practice, you have to practice. Nobody wants to practice. Everybody just wants to scrimmage.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a coach to say, hey, here's the ball. Y'all just 5-on-5 and just run. But how do you know what a travel is? How do you know to take that first step? You got to dribble the ball before you step. How do you know those intricate things if you don't practice them?
Yeah.
How do you know that? What to do? You just want to scrimmage. No one wants to do a layup line. Nobody wants to do a layup drill. Nobody wants to run the plays. But let's practice this play again. But you want the coach to put you in crucial time, but you've been BSing in practice. So you don't know the practice. You don't know the play. What that look like?
JB be cutting.
That's crazy.
I mean, I think that's the reason why I was able to come into it so confident, because my whole life, football, basketball, I always had that. I had to start from the bottom in order to get to the starting position. So I always had to work. You know, some people are always going to be better than you or something. So it was harder for me I had to work extra hard for.
But you want that work. You want to put that work in.
Because the people that are usually already naturally good at something, they end up not even. I mean, it's just they don't know what hard work is. So you end up outworking them. So I'm glad that I've had the journey in my life everything that's happened in my life so far before Barber, and I'm glad that happened as well.
Right.
So that's what made me who I am today.
Bars.
Bars.
So what are you guys' last word for someone coming in for their first week of school? What are your last words? What do you say to them? What do you want to say? Because we've been on there for about
hour and a half.
Yeah, so it's time to kind of wind down. What do you guys think? What are your lasting words for someone listening to this podcast?
If you're a barber in Iceland, you better message us. Y'all are listening. Y'all are number 4. I want to hear what barbering's like in Iceland. I know it's probably similar and a lot the same, but I ain't even thought about the country Iceland. Right. So to hear about that makes me so hyped that people are listening in Iceland. So if I could say one thing left, if you are, I'm excited to hear about it. If you're from Iceland, please hit us up so we can talk to you. Yeah. And maybe we can zoom you in. That'd be dope.
What do you say for a student, though? A barber student, somebody who's coming into this industry, want to get into the fold?
Just be positive. Just don't have negative thoughts. Don't think, what if I mess somebody up? What if I'm not good at this? What if the people that say not to do this were right? Just don't think negative. Just go forward and think positive.
Never know until you do it. Don't come in thinking that you're just going to be able to cut hair off the rip, because you're most likely not going to. So
just stay confident.
Yeah, just gotta be confident, believe in yourself,
and stay away from the negative students in the school. And give yourself a benefit of the doubt. Understand this is a learned skill. You're going to get it. Even though it looks dim right now, but the light will shine.
Okay. Light be coming through in the morning.
Yeah, it looks dim because you're starting out, but you will shine. That's like a doctor going to school to be a brain surgeon in the first week. Why am I not being a brain surgeon in the first week? You haven't had enough experiences. You haven't went through the whole gamut of understanding what blood vessels to hook up to the other blood vessels.
I said the world would be in trouble if we let people be a brain surgeon in a week.
The world would be in trouble if we let barbers get their license in a week too.
Yeah.
No license, just off the street.
Just
In a week or even 2 weeks. How can you tell somebody, imagine not telling someone, right? You're a barber. I've been in school for 2 months and I'm in the shop now. They're going to look at you like, what? You only 2 months? Man, let me get the next. I'm waiting for you, Jordan. I'll wait.
You seen that one video of the guy that just he cut at the gas station? He's like, yeah, I'll cut your hair. And say he cuts hair and just jack people up. Just tear them up.
I mean, ain't no like that in Alabama.
That's the only state where you're not required to have a barber's license.
Well, they switched it now. They worked on that.
Oh, they do?
Okay,
Yeah,
they probably got calls and it's like, yeah, man, we gotta get some people in here.
I mean,
too much bad press.
Too many bad. My hair's messed up too many times. Man.
Birmingham, Alabama, I got some good friends there.
They got some fire barbers.
They probably grandfathered in too.
Yeah, they want their license. Those are the ones who got their license.
Yeah.
They doing that thing. Shout out to Birmingham. Shout out to Alabama. You keep doing y'all thing down there. But again, Barber College Success brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, Virginia, and my guy.
Ammi, your barber. Marion, Virginia. Ammi's Barbershop, AMI.
Yep.
That's dope. Jordan Barr _52 from Bristol, Tennessee.
Shout the shop out.
And again, shout out to Ammi. Ammi is opening his barbershop. Should be open by next week.
It's open. We're happening.
So it's open this week.
Yep.
This week, right here. So
week.
Ammi is we're gonna do a podcast where he's gonna talk about his journey of opening his shop.
Let's do it.
We're gonna talk about it. He has some videos out right now. He just shoot his first one, his first reel. Check it out. Has a little clips of a video of the shop. But he's gonna give y'all something every week. Some type of meat every week about opening your shop. And just watching the transformation, just watching what it takes. And if you have any questions, hit him up. We're getting ready to get a website for the Barber College Success. So you'll be able to hit us instantly and hit us up so we can get to you guys as quick as possible. We're going to have all the videos, all the podcasts on the website. And we have some pictures up and we're going to have some merch on there. So you guys can get to know us on a personal level. We're going to take this to a new level for 2023. Again, Barber College Success. Check us out. Boom, 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 boom.